I wanted to challenge myself to try and complete a sketchbook in a month, and I actually did it. I don't know how I did it, but I did it. So here's another sketchbook tour for you guys. Hello and welcome back to my channel. Hope you're doing well. First off, you might notice if you're a returning subscriber to my channel, you know that I did a sketchbook review earlier this month. This is not the sketchbook, but it was just kind of weird timing because that company, it wasn't a sponsored video, but they sent me that sketchbook to try out. And since I finished this one, I have been using that one, but I was already planning on using this little guy to try and finish it in a month when those sketchbooks came. So it was a little weird. But now that I'm finished with this one, I moved on to that one. This sketchbook is a sketchbook I got quite a while ago now at Hobby Lobby. This was before I knew that they were not the best company. So I wouldn't suggest going there, but I believe I have the brand in the back of the sketchbook, so we'll find that out eventually. I don't know it off the top of my head. Before I really get into it though, I know I'm going to get comments asking if I recommend doing this, and I would say yes, depending on what you want out of it. So for me, I used to be very, very adamant about sketching every day. It's something that I told myself I had to do no matter what. Even if it was just like sitting down for 10 minutes and sketching, I would have like force myself to do that, but I haven't done that in a while. A lot of people ask how I finished sketchbooks so quickly, and I even got that on my last sketchbook, but I personally felt like I took a little longer than usual to finish that. But for all the sketchbooks before that, it's because I would sketch daily. And so I would definitely recommend this if you want to get in the habit of daily sketching, because this has definitely got me into that habit. It's made me get used to putting a fairly large amount of time aside during my day for sketching. That being said, this isn't my favorite sketchbook. Also, by the way, it didn't come like this. I added this painting stuff in this and this ribbon. So I forgot to mention that, but every single time I finish a sketchbook, I like the sketchbook as a whole more than my last one, except for this one, because I couldn't spend a whole lot of time on it. I don't think it's my best sketchbook, but there are still drawings in here that I like, and I thought I would share it with you anyway. So let's get started. Here's the first spread. I finished this in 31 days. It wasn't like the first of the month and then a 30th of a month that I finished it or whatever, but I did finish it in 31 days, so it's like one of the longer months. And then this is a drawing of one of my characters, Alice. I actually drew this before I started the sketchbook, and I really liked the drawing, but I didn't know where to put it, so I just put it in here. And here is one of the very few finished illustrations in the sketchbook. Of course, since I had to finish this in a month, I had to fill like 5 pages a day, which is like 2 spreads and then an extra page. So I didn't have a whole lot of time to do finished stuff, but I always like to have a special little page at the beginning. This was sketchbook 17. 1 month challenge edition, and this is another character of mine, Andy. I'm going to point out whenever something is fan art, because that would just be easier, because I mostly draw my characters, but if you're new here, you already know. Normally, I like to make goals in the beginning of my sketchbook. So yeah, the only goal I made for this sketchbook is to just fucking finish the challenge, man, because normally I like to spend a little bit more time on my sketches, but I couldn't do that in this one. I also just drew random stuff on my desk here. That's drawing random things is a recurring theme in this sketchbook, because it's one thing if you draw the same thing over and over again throughout a stretched period of time, but when it's all condensed into this short month, it kind of gets boring. So here's some things from my desk. And then this is Arietta. In the beginning of the sketchbook, you're going to find a lot of pages like this. I also wanted to take this opportunity to design a bunch of outfits for a lot of my characters. And then I also tried to make the spreads look cohesive for if they're in the same universe. And so you're going to see a lot of pages like this in the beginning, because I have like, how many characters? Like 8 characters within the same universe, like 8 or 10, somewhere between those. I can't count really, but Andy has the most outfits because they're special. Andy has the most outfits because they're special. And yeah, just a bunch of stuff here. I also wanted to draw more fan art than I normally do. I still didn't draw as much as I would have liked, but I did definitely draw more fan art than I normally would. Here's some Pokemon characters. It says Poison on the stage because that's something she says in Pokemon Masters. That app is consuming me Please send help. But that app has also made me remember a bunch of characters that I loved and kind of forgot that I loved, so I wanted to show the love here. So here we have some purple girls. It's a fun time. I actually really like this sketch of her. I think that's nice. Here's some more random stuff. It's a little desktop easel thing. My old glasses. Rip. They broke. A jar with stuff in it. This vase is actually my brother's, but he left it here when he moved out. Now it's just here. And then I drew my acoustic guitar and my ukulele. Nothing fancy. These are okay. More Pokemon characters, Whitney and Flannery, both from Pokemon again. Then here's Luca's outfits, or at least part of it. And then some more fun stuff. I don't really have a whole lot of things to say about these sketches in the beginning, because again, it's kind of repetitive, I guess. Here's some of Rory's outfits. I did definitely have a lot of fun drawing these bunch of different outfits though. And then here's a water bottle I got. It's a water bottle that's your daily recommended amount of water. Was that a sentence? But it's a big ass water bottle, and so I drew it. Here's game, Gyaru. Fun fact about me, I watch a lot of Game Grumps. I don't really talk about a whole lot of fandoms I'm in unless it's like consuming my life, but I watch a lot of Game Grumps. I just put on a playlist of all the Dan Era videos and then just let it play while I work. So I'm pretty much constantly watching them, and I drew Game Gyaru. And then Mabel. I draw way too much of her, so I remember these spreads were really easy for me to do because I draw way too much of her, honestly. But her outfits are always really fun to draw. Here I was trying to draw my dog, but she kept moving. So in the pink, I kind of like scribbled out the rough poses that she was in, and then I went in with this like dark blue color and kind of just guessed what she looked like. So it doesn't look exactly like her, but I like them. I think they're adorable. Here, this was actually done with crayon, and then I scraped the wax stuff off of it, and then using crayon made me want to try oil pastels because I have a bunch of them, but I never really use them, and honestly, I thought it was really fun. I think chalk pastels are still the worst thing ever, but I'm more open to trying oil pastels now. I had a lot of fun with this. I'm definitely very new to it, so it's not perfect, but it was fun. Here are Sawyer's outfits. I feel like out of all of my OCs, he's the hardest one for me to design outfits for. I don't know why, it's really difficult, but I really like this drawing. I don't know what it is about it. I think it's quite nice. And then the rest of it, more Sawyer, a little comic of me calling myself out. It's just, it be like that, man. It really do be like that. Here's Hadia. Give me death or give me death. Because, you know, it's like, give me liberty or give me death. But death is the only option. I was definitely starting to feel really burned out really quickly. Because, again, I had to do 2 spreads and then an additional page every single day. And I was starting to just because I was doing this and then also still keeping up with my YouTube work, and then also for returning subscribers, you're aware that I'm currently working on a webcomic. Nothing is out, before anybody asks, nothing is out, but I've been working really, really hard on it, and I think this was a really bad time for me to try and finish the sketchbook in a month because I have a lot of comic work to do, so I was also overloading with that. An awkward blank spot. I think I definitely would have enjoyed this a lot more if I had picked a different time to do it. This is another drawing that's actually kind of old. I have like a stack of just computer paper near my desk, and sometimes when I'm editing, it's hard for me to like pay attention to things. I have a very short attention span, and so sometimes doing something else helps me focus. I don't know if that's, I don't know, it seems kind of weird and counterproductive, but it works for me. So I just have a bunch of paper that I'll doodle on, and I found this one and I stuck it here. These are 2 characters from Fairy Tail, Freed and Mira Jane. Got that backwards for a minute. Here are Cairo's outfits, part 1. He's another character that I feel like I'm just struggling a lot all the time to design outfits for. I don't know what it is about him and Sawyer, but it's a difficult time, man. I really do be like that. And then here's the rest of this. Another character, Lo. I really liked this drawing when I first made it, but now I kind of hate it. I don't like it. It's not my favorite, so let's just move on. Here is Cass's outfits. He has a fairly simple style, I guess. I don't know if you would call it simple, but it's a lot more defined in my mind. I don't really know how I'd describe it, but designing outfits for him tends to be very easy because he tends to present himself in a certain way. Alistair. I got a comment. I don't remember what video it is and I don't remember who it is. I'm so sorry. But somebody commented asking about her because I never draw her. I haven't drawn her in at least a year, probably longer. And they were like, you should draw her more. And I was like, sure thing. Haven't drawn her since, but I mean, we're working on it. Here I drew myself because again, I was running out of things to draw. And like, if I cover up the top part, that looks like me. And if I cover up this part, that looks like me. But I somehow made the face too long. I put a mirror in front of my desk. So this was literally me drawing in a mirror, which is why this is super meta down here. But I made my face too long, so if you squish this a little bit, then it looks like me. Here, I tried drawing myself again, but I looked like an old man. And then here I doodled myself. This is how I draw myself. Clearly, it looks just like me. But I think for the most part, I just struggled with coming up with things to draw. But here, we set up a tent in the living room, and my sister, like, camped out, but in my living room. So I figured, when am I ever gonna draw a tent? So I drew the tent. And I drew some foresty animals because I thought it fit the theme. These colors remind me of another artist that I follow. Her name is Lee. Don't know how to pronounce her last name, but I'll put it on screen now. But this color scheme just reminds me of something that she would use, and especially like with the animals and stuff because she draws a lot of animals. These are all found on Pinterest, by the way. This was from my living room, and then these are from Pinterest. I usually write down when they're from Pinterest, but I guess I forgot this time. But yeah, these are from Pinterest. Here we got Kennedy Quinn. I always love drawing her. She's just so adorable. I don't normally draw children that often. Like normally the youngest characters I'll draw are like 16-ish, but she's 5. So it was definitely a challenge trying to design outfits for her because she's 5 and children's clothing are very different from like teenager and adult clothing. But it was definitely really fun drawing her. She's adorable. Here is, what's his name from Pokemon? Charon, I think. Maybe. I don't know. And I tried drawing more, but again, I was just feeling really burned out, thus the end of my suffering. And again, the reason I would recommend this challenge is to get you in the process of sketching, because even if I don't like probably half of these drawings, it did get me into the habit of sketching every day. So even if I can't make something I'm proud of, then I was at least able to draw more. And now I'm starting to get into that habit of drawing again every day. But if you're somebody who wants a sketch to look nice rather than producing many sketches, then I wouldn't recommend this. And normally within my sketchbooks, I like to have a mix of sketches and finished illustrations, but obviously with this one, I couldn't really do that. There was a time period in the middle of me working on this where I was in the process of getting a new computer, but I had to wait for it to be shipped to me, so I didn't really have work to do because I couldn't work on my laptop. So I was just sketching all day, every day, within for like maybe like 4 days, 5 days. So yeah, in the middle, there's like more finished illustrations, but then in the beginning and the end, it's like more messy sketches. But anyway, here's Asim. I've definitely been drawing her a little bit more. She deserves more love. I neglect so many of my OCs. I'm horrible. But here's She-Ra. She-Ra is a show that the reboot She-Ra. I've never seen the 80s one, but it's a show that has really surprised me. I honestly wasn't too big on it at first. I thought it was entertaining, but I never thought it was incredible. But then by the end of season 2, I was absolutely invested. And I wanted to draw both future Catra and the season 8 She-Ra look because I like both of those designs a lot. What a show. Here's Arietta. I also wanted to take the opportunity in the sketchbook to work on their story a lot. I talked about in my last sketchbook how I'm taking some of my not really used OCs, putting it in her universe, and trying to form a story. I definitely have a universe set up, but I don't really have a plot for them yet. I have like an idea for a plot, but I don't have like a solid this makes sense type of thing. So I'm still working on that, but I definitely wanted to design different outfits for her. She's one of my favorite characters to draw. I really like her. Oddly enough, she can be kind of hard for me to draw because her body type is a little bit thinner than what I normally draw. So it's definitely trying to get used to that, but I'm working on it. I'm getting better at it. More Arietta. And then here's Jax, another character in her universe. In my last sketchbook, I was really struggling on like their main outfit. And so I was trying to really hammer this down. I'm still not super satisfied with it, but for the most part, like as of now, this is their final main outfit design. Again, I'm still working on it though. Guys. Everybody, take a moment. This is the first time I've said this on my channel, but they are dating. Good job, me. These are the only characters I have that you guys know about that are canonically dating. All the other characters that you know about are like not dating. I draw them in romantic situations, but they're not dating. I have 2 canon couples, and this is one of them, and the other one you don't know about. So, here's Alice. I drew her saying, "Stop drawing me, people aren't supposed to know about me yet." But it's okay, because next week's video is her video, her OC, you'll know about her. And I really like drawing her, so that's a relief. Again, I found this post from Pinterest, but I adore drawing her. I love her a lot. Here's Robin, another character. I think she's becoming one of my go-to characters to sketch. I don't know, I think she has a really fun design. Of course I do, she's my character. I like her. I have to burp, but it's not coming out, so I'm just going to move on. Another drawing, I really like this one. This was this is the point in the sketchbook where I was waiting for my computer, so these sketches are a little bit more refined and a finished illustration. Would you look at that? This is Robin. Again, I really like this one. And then this is Carol from Carol and Tuesday. I think that show is criminally underrated. If you have a Netflix account, go watch Carol and Tuesday. It's incredible. It's one of my favorite anime. It's very, very good. This is the Koi watercolor, and then in the back, it's some Tumblr brush pens. But it was long overdue that I made some proper fan art of Carol. I've only ever doodled her before. So, there she is. Here are my comic characters, the ones that I'm working on. Don't, just, shut up. Another character you're not supposed to know about. Tiny Delaney. Just the usual. Nothing new. Here's Micah. His main character outfit was a lot more hammered down, but I still wanted to tweak it a little bit, so that's what I was doing here. So the 4 main characters within this world, Arietta, Robin, Micah, and Jax. And I want them to all have like one solid color, and then like an eye color that's like the color of somebody else. I don't know if that makes any sense, but like Arietta has 2, because she's the main. The protagonist, someone pointed that out. Pink and blue, and then her eye color is red. And then Robin, her main color is red, and then her eye color is green. And then Jack's main color is green, and then their eye color is purple. And so just stuff like that, just to help make them seem a little more cohesive as a unit. That was a tangent that was irrelevant to this page, but there's Micah. Here's a sketch of Andy. A lot of you guys loved this one on Instagram. Like, I like it too, but holy shit. And then more doodles of Andy. They're another one of my go-to characters. I have a set few of go-to characters that I love drawing. Andy is my main one because they're special. I don't even know what happened here. It's Coral, my reverse mermaid. But I don't know what happened here. It's definitely the messiest page, so let's move on. Within all of my sketchbooks, I like to have this like halfway page. Like I said earlier, I like to make these introductory pages, and as you'll see, I like to make closing pages just to like close off the sketchbook. And you can really feel like you're not making any progress in a sketchbook, and so I like to do a halfway spread too, just to mark like, you're doing this. Luckily, this was the time where I was waiting for my computer, so I was actually able to spend time on this. These are my comic characters. You're not supposed to know about them. I don't think I used any colored pencil. Normally I'll go in with colored pencil to add some smaller details, but this is just purely Copic markers. But yeah, I really like this drawing. There's definitely some perspective issues like back here, so we can ignore that, but I really like this drawing. I think it's really fun. I think it kind of shows the dynamic of the group. Noe, she do be baby though. I think it was either a comment on my last sketchbook tour or some sort of comment in a live stream, but somebody said that they would be very upset with me if I didn't draw Noe wrapped up in like blankets surrounded by pillows and stuff, so I drew blanket burrito Noe. So your request has been fulfilled. I really like this little doodle up here. She's adorable, I just love her. A lot of you guys like her too, which makes me really happy. She is the most precious child and must be protected at all costs. Here I had my sister draw like random blobs of color, and then I would turn them into things. I'm sure you've seen people do that before, but I just needed a way to fill in space. I did add like other blobs of color just to add more fun stuff, but this was one she drew. She drew this little pupil here. This weird, I don't even know what shape this is. This triangle, and then this one. It's a triangle blurred. It's a triangle bird and a flat cat, and they're friends. And then I doodled my sister, courtesy of Jolie. Here is a picture I found on Pinterest of a kitchen, and then here are also pictures I found on Pinterest of food, because food and kitchen. I really want to draw food more. I had a lot of fun doing these. I didn't sketch anything, I just went straight in with watercolor, but I really enjoyed doing this. I'd definitely love to do it more. But yeah, all of these were found on Pinterest. Here's Tabby. She's a villain in Rietta's universe, and I just wanted to draw her. She's fun. I enjoy drawing her a lot. Again, still sort of working on her design since she's an old character that I'm revamping, but I'm really happy with how it's going so far. You know, like, yeah. I'm so sorry. And then Belladonna, she's another villain in their story. She's a witch, and in Arietta's story, they're also witches, but they're like on opposing sides. Oh, I'm going to explain their story one day, so don't worry, it'll make sense. But she's like a different kind of witch. That's all I'll say for now, and so is Tabby. But you guys will hear about it at some point. I wanted to revamp her design, but her design stayed pretty much the same. So, you know. Here I was really running out of ideas to... I was running out of ideas on what to draw, and I asked my sister, and she wanted... There's that burp! Oh my god. I asked my sister what I should draw, and she wanted me to draw our pets as people. So here's Leo, Lily, Zola, and Abby. I think this humanizes them very well. This is literally them. This is them. It is them. Aurora, I think she's another go-to character of mine, so I was excited to draw her. I wanted to go universe by universe. So I was very happy when I finally got to her. But I sketched these in Prismacolor colored pencils. Here's her angel uniform. I never draw her uniform, but there it is. There's the uniform. Rory and Mabel, more go-to OCs that I draw. Nothing fancy really. At this point, like, I was just going through the motions, just drawing for the sake of filling this, and then that's it. So, not a whole lot to say about them. Here's Jeremy in his kind of half-transformed demon form. Again, I don't really draw that, but there he is. I always get questions asking if he's named Jeremy because of Be More Chill. No, I made him when I was 11 before Be More Chill, the musical, came out. I think the book was out, but I didn't know about it. So here's some Doki Doki Literature Club. Again, I don't really talk about the things that I'm interested in. I don't take part in fandoms a lot because the internet is a mess, but that's I guess a part of the reason why I don't really talk about the things that I'm interested in. I wouldn't say that I'm in these fandoms, but Doki Doki is one of my favorite games. I really like it. I don't normally like spooks. I don't like horror, but I really like this game. I thought it was really well done, and so I wanted to draw some fan art. Monica, of course. I don't like her face. I think the rest of the drawing is fine. I'm just not super fond of the face. I do want to make proper fan art of Sayori, maybe like a finished illustration because she's my favorite. Here's Remy. She was a go-to character. I don't know what happened. I don't draw her a lot. Oh, I don't draw her a lot anymore, but I really like her. Fun time, fun time. She actually was a police officer, or like a police officer in training. She's not throughout the course of the story, but in the beginning she is, and so I wanted to try and design a uniform for her. This is all the work I did on that in the sketchbook, so I clearly did not get very far, but I'm looking forward to working on that a little bit more. Here I wanted to work on like learning the planes of the face, and so under here, that's so glary. This is from Pinterest, something I just found. I used is it technical pencil? The pencils with like the different types of lead in it. I did that, and then on top I did a piece of tracing paper and kind of like traced it. And then here's Rory. I feel like whenever I don't know what to draw or I just need to get through a drawing really quickly, I revert to like the same maybe 5 characters. So Rory's one of them. Here's Aspen. I actually just finished painting a painting of Aspen. But here she is, and also in her respective uniform. Why don't a lot of my characters have uniforms? I'm just not realizing this. But here's her kick-ass uniform. I don't know what else to call it. Here I really wanted to practice perspective, so here's, wait. Here's a 1-point perspective. I really like this drawing. I think it's nice. 2-point perspective. This was really difficult, but in the end, I really like it. Again, I think that's nice. And then 3-point perspective. 3-point perspective can eat a dick. I hate it. It's the worst. I never want to do it again in my life. I hate it. Moving on. Here's a maple. I don't really like this drawing either, but I mean, I guess it's suiting because there's also the 3-point perspective. Here's Milo. I don't really like a whole lot of these drawings either. A whole lot of them. I don't like any of them. Again, at this point, just drawing for the sake of finishing this sketchbook. Again, running out of things to draw. I drew Toru Honda from Fruits Basket, another one of my favorite anime. And then here, I don't know, I think her name is Clementine from The Walking Dead. I don't know if she's in the show, but she's in the game. My sister was playing it, and I asked her what I should draw, and she said that. I don't know anything about her, but my sister asked me to draw her, so I did. Here's Bishop. Unlike the Milo ones, I really like all of these. I really like this one too. I posted this to Instagram and a lot of you guys liked this too, so I'm glad we're on the same page. Here's that same blob thing, except these ones are from my mom. I gave her the colors and she just did whatever. She picked some really interesting shapes. But I really like this flower one. I wouldn't have thought to draw a flower from that angle on my own, so that's fun. And then a little rat boy. He's adorable. Here's some Bugbot and Red Shark doodles. Always a fun time. And then here's a Posca illustration of Andy. I feel like Andy is one of the very few characters that I actually have the right colors for Posca. I don't know what the... Okay. But I really like these ones. I think they're so cute. I love them. Those little tiny doodles. Here's Lincoln. And I decided to give her glasses whenever she's in her uniform. And now they have uniforms. They're always meant to have uniforms, but I've never designed a uniform for them before, so here it is. It's subject to change, but for now, this is what it is. Here I did some figure studies. I haven't done figure studies in so long. That was one of the ways I used to always finish sketchbooks so easily, because I did a lot of really quick figure studies, but I just haven't done them. I haven't really felt like I needed them, and that's not to say that I'm perfect with like gestures and anatomy and stuff, but I don't know. I've been feeling a lot less compelled over the past year or so to do them, so I just haven't been, but I used quick poses. And then, of course, I shaded in the ones that I liked most. And then here's Beatrix, also in her uniform. I drew them, guys, don't worry. A lot of you guys get mad because I don't draw them, but here they are. I was drawing more Andy, nothing out of the ordinary. And then here I was thumbnailing for drawing in Alice's video, which again, you guys will see next week. Really excited to talk about her. Then here we are to my comic characters. Here's Delaney, the asshole. If you want to know more about my characters because you're new here or whatever, I'll leave a playlist linked in the iCard. I talk about a different character I have every month, and I'm actually currently on my soon-to-be comic characters, so if that's something you're interested in, I'd appreciate it if you check that out. More random stuff. This is the only real plant I own. All of these are fake. This is the real one. It's right here, the only real plant I own. Cannot be held responsible for it, and it's probably gonna die. And then more Arietta. Again, just love drawing her, and nothing fancy. Just, they're here. Here's Lo. A lot of you guys, people are very split down the middle with his fashion choices. Some people love the different patterns, some people hate it. Clashing patterns is definitely an acquired taste that Lo has, but not all of you do. But here he is. I like this face. Anki mode activated. Yeah. Here's... I was so burnt out at this point. As you could probably tell, this was the point where my computer came, so I wasn't spending a whole lot of time on these drawings, and again, just I was only working on it for the sake of finishing this. Here, I asked my sister what to draw, but then also as soon as I thought of that, I thought of drawing Zuko, but then she said to draw a tiny bird, so I drew Zuko in a tiny bird costume. Bro, because that's how I was feeling. And then Robin and Arietta. I'm so close. Please end my suffering. Here's Alice. Love this girl. I think a lot of you guys will like her too. She is mom friend. I just realized I didn't color this. This is supposed... Well then, let's just move on. Speaking of Robin and Arietta, here's this one, another Posca illustration. I need to get more Poscas. I don't have a lot, so I'm very limited in what I can draw. But I wanted to draw Robin. Love her. And then here's Micah and Jax. I figured since I have characters that are dating, whenever I want to draw a romantic pose, I'll draw the characters that are actually dating so I can stop torturing you guys. So you guys can go ahead, draw your fan art of these two being in love, because they are actually, in fact, in love this time. Good job, me. I've been getting a lot of Noe fan art, so thank you guys so much for that. I'm happy you guys like her too. She's very fun to draw. 10 out of 10 would recommend her. I'm not just saying that so I can get more fan art on my characters. Here is Maka Albarn from Soul Eater. I used to really like this anime, and then I rewatched it a few months ago, and I was surprised at how well it held up. I still really enjoyed it, because it definitely seems like one of those things that I would watch as a child as like an edgy preteen and be like, wow, this is so cool, but then like grow out of it. But I still really liked it, and I haven't drawn Maka in a hot minute, so I just have to draw her. I don't know why that was so hard for me to get out, but I sketched her in Prismacolor, and I also obviously colored her in Prismacolor, and in the back is Tombow brush pens, and then some other characters that I didn't use reference for any of these. I'm sorry, plant. I didn't use reference pictures for any of these, so they might not be the most accurate thing in the world, but I tried. I was just too lazy, man. I just wanted to get this over with. Here's another character whose name I blocked out because you aren't even supposed to know about them. They're really fun to draw too. Another character I think you guys are going to enjoy. I really like this picture of them. Fun, fun, fun. Here I drew my desk. Here's my tripod. Yes, I have a stuffed Totoro and a little bird. They're right here. They hang off of my tripod. They're just chilling. Oh, they just moved the light. And yeah, this is that. I forgot to draw that other light. But this is what my desk looks like. And here's the second to last spread, sketching Arietta. Oh my god, I was almost there. I completed my goal of finishing the fucking challenge. It was a time. And then there we go, the end. Thanks for drawing. This is just a scrap piece of paper that I would use. And then here's the brand, wait, yeah. There's the brand of the sketch. It's Master's Touch? Master's Touch Fine Art Studio. I got these at Hobby Lobby, but again, I would not recommend going there. Go to Michael's or Joann's. Or Dick Blick. That's also an option. Tie this. I can finally retire this sketchbook.
Let's destroy it.
Hi. You always end up in this section of the video. Are you gonna look at me? You always end up here. So good at vacuuming. But yes, here's the one that I'm working on currently. I'll leave the review video link in the iCard if you want to check that out. I'm really enjoying these so far. I've definitely gotten to know them a little bit more, and I have to say, I'm very much enjoying it. Let's give you a sneak peek. If I can do this one-handedly, that would be awesome. Ow, my finger. Let's give you the first page, because I like it. Boom! I don't know if the camera's picking it up well. My children, even though 2 of them are older than me. Technically all 3 of them. Thank you so much for watching. If you've put up with me for this long, thank you. Give this video a thumbs up if you liked it, if you liked the sketchbook. Again, it's not my favorite, but I mean, I did it. I finished it in a month, and that's what I set out to do. So let me know if you liked it. Let me know what drawings you liked from it. And if you are new here, hi, I'm so sorry about my chaotic energy, but I'm Oliver. I post a new video every single Wednesday, sometimes additional bonus videos whenever I can. And if you're interested in my art or my characters or stories, I'd really appreciate it if you could subscribe. As of filming this, we are very close to hitting 90,000. I couldn't even think of what the number was because it's such an insane number. I was like, that can't be right, but it's totally right. So thank you so much. Let's see how much longer it takes to get there. And if you want to see more from me, you can also follow me on social media. Those will be on screen now and linked in the description box below. I would say just follow me on Instagram because that is where I post my art and I'm more active. I say that, but I haven't posted in so long, but it's there. I'd recommend following me there over anywhere else. And there will also be some videos on screen now and linked in the iCard for you to check out if you want. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next week. Bye. Ow.